Alrighty. Good day, everybody. It is St. Patrick's Day, and do you know what that means? It means Arknights updated, so there's interesting things to do, I guess. Not that I particularly care about any of that. As you can see, we have new operator. I don't know how to pronounce her name. It is something Victorian. I'm just gonna call her Jean, or Jane. Her name's Jane, I'm just gonna call her Jane, because I don't know how to pronounce that. But we're not gonna be rolling on her, because we don't care. She's fine. We don't need her attention. New outfits for Asticia and Archetto. We don't care about that either. Not gonna deal with it. Outfits here? I don't even have April. Don't care. This I care about, though. We're going to buy furniture. That's the big update. We buy furniture. Lots of stuff from when Bagpipe and Shen were hanging out in college. A multifunctional grow box brought in by Bagpipe. The temperature and humidity can be adjusted freely to simulate the planting environment suitable for different crops. The crops planted at the beginning of each year are ripe by the end of the semester and can be harvested to make a delicious meal for her roommate. Oh, that's cute. Bagpipe, you're such a good roommate. I think the only time I had a grow box myself was when I was growing moonflowers. See what everything else says. Jen's belongings. Jen traveled back and forth between Victoria and Lungmen repeatedly during her studies. The two things that always accompanied her were Chi Shao and the suitcase. A standard issue 2-person Academy bunk bag, fastidiously designed to make efficient use of the limited space in the student dorms. The display case is full of awards and accolades for the two residents, but the largest trophy was won thanks to Bagpipe's tractor driving. A standard issue, high-quality plush carpet selected by the Academy, representing the highest levels of Victorian textile industry. After our training, Bagpipe would fall asleep directly on the carpet. Ken would scold her over this, and even giving her the lower bunk was not of any use. The main source of light in the dormitories, with a design that takes both utility and beauty into consideration. It's said that the designer took inspiration from a Sanctus halo. We must learn from the Sanctus solidarity, but shun their frivolity. A secondary light source in the dorms, often used as a nightlight. It has accompanied Shen and Bagpipe through countless all-nighters. I'm guilty of having an all-nighter, 1 or 2 myself, actually, when I was in college. I might have stayed up till about 3 working on a geological survey paper report. And at that point, I decided that I had done enough and I would be able to finish it. So I just went to bed for 3 hours. It wasn't much, but it helped me regain my sanity. A soft and comfortable armchair, silky to the touch. Don't overwork yourself during breaks. A soft and comfortable armchair, sturdily built. Don't slack off during training. I'm guessing this is Chen's armchair, this is Bagpipe's armchair. A decorative pillar made in the Victorian court style, built with hard mountain rock, brushed over with white chalk. The first lesson at the Royal Guard Academy begins with a straight race. I wonder what type of rock it is. I believe many pillars are made out of marble, which is a metamorphic form of limestone. That actually says a lot about the geology of the area prior to the current situation. I am a geologist, so this is information that's fascinating to me. Old geography setups. You can tell where the oceans were simply through what kind of sedimentary rock is laid down. It gets a little bit trickier once you introduce igneous and metamorphic phase changes into sedimentary rock. But you gotta do what you gotta do. The world's really old. You gotta pick up the pieces somehow. Imitation Originium Ice Crystal Sculpture. A scale model of the Originium Ice Crystal Sculpture in the Royal Victorian Museum, carved from a single piece of crystal. Pure, flawless, adamantite. Not adamantite, it's adamantite. Silver ash has an Originium ice crystal. Made from the finest materials from Lithuania. I'm really showing how much of a fake Arknights fan is. I can't pronounce anything. Lithuanian. I think that's it. Lithuanian's redwood forest. Victoria's prosperity attracts the influx of resources from neighboring countries, and Victoria is more than glad to accept them. A petite and exquisite potted plant with a transparent design at the bottom of the flower pot. As much as she hates to admit it, Shen's sense of aesthetics have been influenced by Way in you, in many respects. Standard issue multifunctional racks issued by the Academy for dorm usage, shared by 2 students. Though the two obviously had many differences in their lifestyle, this did not prevent them from trying to understand one another. A standard issue dining table at the Academy, made to meet both personal and hospitality needs. For the students of the Royal Guard Academy, table manners are as important as military literacy. Ups to impenetrable technical books and photos of assumed sentimental value. Upon closer inspection, that landscape photo seems to be the view from the dorm window. A panoramic display showing the campus of the Royal Guard Academy. Where there are people, there must be both camaraderie and conflict, even in a place where discipline is prized above all else. So those seem nice. I'm actually starting to low run on furniture parts since I don't really buy them, ever. And we're not going to deal with any of that. I don't particularly like the idol outfits all that much, to be honest. And we have a big operator update. So they introduced Chinese voice acting for specific characters, and they're slowly introducing that. I'm not going to be changing that many of my voiceovers, but one of the things I wanted to do was to, when it was available, change the voiceovers of characters that fit their nationality. So even though I'm used to Chen, I'm gonna try to switch her to her Cian voice. Texas and XSI live in Lungman, so they So I guess they would have CN voices, but their nationality isn't CN. Soiree is kind of in a similar situation. She's Victorian. So we're just gonna keep it a Chin right now. See how it goes. And we also got modules for a lot of characters. I recently learned that each of these badges has a slightly different thing associated with them to explain what they're good at. Perfumer has demonstrated remarkable aptitude for healing several teammates in a short period of time. So she has the multi-target. And Bree should have... Oh, no, same thing. Okay. Oh, I did this already today. I didn't even realize that. I did that completely on accident. So, for this one, you need to have Breeze use S2. And I have her in my auto-deploy for a P5. So I just ran that a whole ton today, and I guess I maxed her out. I'm gonna need to do this, though. And also, she's not at level 50, so that won't work, but... You know who is at the proper level? Perfumer is. So we just need to deploy her 5 times, and then we can clear this maybe tomorrow. This should be very inexpensive to give her. And it increases her attack, and also increases the amount of people that she can heal. Very useful, very useful. And we also got operator records for Bagpipe, Catapult, Midnight, and Sora. So we'll be doing those in a little bit. My Adriana's not high enough either. It's really, really expensive to do these modules. They can give some pretty good stat increases, but like dumping 40 levels on somebody isn't always very easy to do. Like Telopsis needs 50. That's at least a day's worth of... Well, that's at least 2 days worth of EXP, 1 day's worth of LMD. Like, you gotta devote some time to that. Also, I got a senior op thing today. So, let's go ahead and do the Paradox Sim. I could actually do this since I have enough of that, but Lopsis isn't at level 50 either. Alright, let's start with Sora. Alrighty, we're heading up. Boost in morale can raise the moods of squad members, leading to superior performance. As an active idol, Sora can apply her unique charm, her singing voice, to boost the morale of her squad, readying for a concentrated offense at the key moment. Raise your weapons, hold them high, attack as one, and drop the curtains on the opposition. I'm gonna assume for front loading over a year or something, because they're probably going to go ring around the rosy. A lot of people don't really use Sora because Scotty happened. Oh hey, it's Makamaru. And she's even E2. Okay, so we are going to... We are going to make a pain train right here. I'm pretty sure that's what it wants. Oh, they are coming. They are coming.
Mission accomplished.
There we go, easy peasy. Alright, who's next? Go for Bagpipe. Spear of Victoria. As a former member of the Victorian Tempest Platoon, Bagpipe possesses an outstanding assault and rush capability. Should the enemy be too much to handle, it may rapidly adjust tactics and put forth empowered means of attack and defense. Of course, being accustomed to fighting in a unit, Bagpipe will require help to hold the front when swarmed by multiple enemies. Yeah, I'm guessing Bagpipe here and then, like, a defender behind her. And it was talking about Locked Breach Burst since it buffs her attack defense and gives her additional block. Of course. Yep, there's Norcorn, as I thought. Oh, there is no DP chin on this map. Okay. We gotta play it smart. Okay, this is gonna be a part where we need to do this. Yeah, no. Oh, here he comes. How about you stay back for a little bit?
指示を。意志を堅固にするは規律。
Come on, bust your chains, buddy. Bust your chains. Come on, do it.
Mission accomplished.
Good job, guys.
ふう、今回もこの制服に恥じない戦いができたね。
Yes, Bagpipe, you absolutely lived up to your racing uniform. Alright, up next is Midnight. Blade of the Midnight Lord. Quite a few operators might find it hard to believe, but Midnight's swordsmanship really is as he describes it, both glistening and elegant. When he earnestly takes the enemy, his sword hand can be overwhelming for those lacking Originium arts resistance. Just have his squad mates draw the enemy into a position best suited for his offense. Then you can kick back and watch his show. Now come and admire a blade's glint under the glorious midnight moons. This is another extremely simple map. I'm guessing he's going here? Going here. Which way are you going, buddy? I guess you can cover 3 lanes sitting here. Alright. This is the only instance of enchant weapon in the game. Lapland's kinda similar, but not really. Yeah, it's exactly what I thought it was. Okay. Telegraphing information! Woo! We're gonna put Spot there so he can heal Midnight if need be. Cardigan will be over here by herself. Yep. Yep, I figured it out, game. Thank you. Okay, let's wait until more guys show up first.
どうした？アリーナ。己が先決を。
戦場では。 戦場でミラの攻撃なんて効かないよ。
Yeah, it's the part where we needed to hold off on Spot.
Mission accomplished.
俺にとって唯一不可能なこと。
I like Midnight. He's a cool guy.
完璧でない俺であることさ。
He's very self-confident, but I think he's a cool guy. Anti-air artillerist. That pulse weapon lets her deal smoothly with enemy clusters. If the need arises, she can even pressurize her weapons, stepping her ammo's explosion radius up a notch. So long as she has squad mates who can tackle the occasional hard targets, she'll be ready to mop up the remaining marks with her cannon, nice and clean. Catapult is the only one who has her skill, which is blast range up, although there's plenty of ways to make the AoE go up for a lot of characters.
安全着陸。戦っている時は眠らないんだから。
Guess we'll do that.
どうしてみんな仲良くできないのかな。 ちゃんと指示通りに動くよ。
Yeah, we definitely want those guys taken care of.
ちゃんと指示この一発で見定める。
The reason why I went big is because I'm trying to take out the guys in the back as well. Otherwise, she would have gotten sniped up real good. Because they wouldn't have had any damage on him.
狙って
指示に従っそれ
Not enough.
ここにいたのね。
Nowhere near enough.
くそ、グズグズしてないで逃げるよ。
Alright, that's definitely gonna be a timing issue. Like Midnight, Catapult has a very long time to her.
安全着陸。
Okay, I see. Yeah, they need to be facing this way so that they can hit the
やっぱ戦
the
争は
defender
嫌いだ
drones.
な。
Okay.
でもどうしようもないもんね。
It all makes sense now.
指示にしてロックオン
ちゃんと指示テイクオフ。狙ってここだよ。
指示に従います
Come on, man. Hurry it up.
狙ってなんでしょう、この一発で見定める。ここだよ。
It really is a pretty respectable blast
私は
radius.
勝利をもたらしてくれる指揮官が好きなんだ。
It's a shame she doesn't have nearly as much attack. Government does help, but
ドクター
anyway. Alright, so that's yeah, that's all the paradox simulators. So we have a new event today. I'm not going to be running any of the stages for it because today is Thursday. And you know what Thursday means? It means red ticket day. And all my sanity has to go to red tickets. No exception. However, tomorrow night will not be a red ticket day. So I don't have any issues with starting Stormwatch then. So what are we gonna do in the meantime? Well, I clicked on Stormwatch, and then a recap happened. Because Arknights loves to do it. You click on new things, and suddenly it just drops an entire 30-minute reading session on you. And generally, you can't read it again. You only get one chance. So if you press it at a bad time, you're just out of luck. You gotta find it online or something. So this is a recap. But I'm going to give you my own recap before this happens. Start with part 1. You are the Doctor. You are an eldritch being in a full-body suit who was found in a sarcophagus in the city of Chernobyl. An elite team from a pharmaceutical company called Rhode Island come to greet you, pull you out of your sarcophagus, evacuate you from the city, and hopefully nobody knows the wiser. Unfortunately, people decided that they had enough of being discriminated against for having rock cancer, so they sort of started a bunch of rioting in the streets, caused by a terrorist group known as Reunion. And so that persists for a while. What happens here? Just more Reunion troops. Okay, episode 1. You are still trying to evacuate. You are not doing a very good job. You run into 2 Reunion squad leaders. One is Crown Slayer, who is... I believe she's actually a hyena. She presents herself as a wolf, and she smells like a wolf, but she's not a wolf. She'll be important later. And W from Victoria, who presents herself as a psychopathic woman who loves explosives and is totally not sane, but she is in fact extremely sane and knows you personally as a doctor. But you don't know that yet, because she's still pretending to be insane. And she's trying to figure things out because you have no memory. Okay, that is episode 1. Episode 2. You have been evacuated from the city of Chernobyl. You are now trying to deal with issues that are happening in the city of Lungmen at the request of the city steward, what's his name? I don't remember, it's Wei. So you run into more Reunion squad leaders because they have infiltrated into the city and are causing a ruckus. They in fact do not like ruckuses. So you are, as a pharmaceutical company, with your partnership obliged to go and blow them up, which you do very well. As you have this guy Skull Shatterer, and you are going to kill him very extremely. Alright, next stage. Rhode Island has been sent to the outskirts of Lungmen, dealing with what appears to be a base of Reunion. It is a trap. Of course it is a trap, you stupid idiot. You have a showdown with a Sarkaz Centurion, who is a squad leader. You have a showdown with Crown Slayer. You put her into a hole. It is not like that. She is going to be put into a hole many times over the course of her life. And then you fight Skull Shatterer. But this is not Skull Shatterer from Chapter 2 because you have killed him. This is in fact his sister, who has donned his uniform as a as the new Skull Shatterer, trying to carry the mantle of Reunion. And we also kill her. So both brother and sister are dead, and our daughter Amia ends up with a bit of trauma, because every time you see this token, she gets trauma. So we have now just given her trauma. Alright, that is the end of episode 1. She has trauma. We have killed at least we have killed 2 people. Well, 2 people of importance. All the writers and looters, they don't have names, so they're not important. Okay, chapter 4. We are back in Chernobyl. We're gonna bully Crown Slayer some more. There are a bunch of Sarkaz units here. It's the first time you really meet them. They are big, they are bulky, they hurt. They hurt a lot. There is originium slugs, there is originium tiles. This entire place is just one big radioactive zone, kind of like the real-world Chernobyl. You do not want to be here. We are here because we are required to be here. And we have a run-in with Frost Nova, who is the first skill check of this game. She is a Arctic hare. She is a white rabbit. She is a person who puts black ice on your tiles, thereby removing them from anything that you can do, so you need to take her out very, very quickly. She is not dead yet. We don't kill her yet. Alright, we go back to Chernobyl. Chernobyl's got things... We go back to Lungmen. We're not dealing with Chernobyl. Lungmen is dealing with more Reunion troops. We're pairing up with the Lungmen Guard Department to deal with them. We are doing a great job. We are still doing a great job. We are climbing a department store where Shin and Hoshiguma are flirting as they kill a bunch of people. And we face off against Faust and Mephisto, who are a swan and a snake. An invisible guy who shoots arrows, and another guy who just heals people and also infects people with a some kind of dust. Makes them like regenerate health constantly due to the Originium being spiked up in them. And they lose all the rationality. Also, we are introduced to Lays at this time. She is a character who doesn't matter, but we're gonna mention her anyway because Yuri cares about her. All right, chapter 6. We're still dealing with Reunion and Lungmen. Still dealing with Reunion and Lungmen. Here we kill Faust. Faust is making his last stand. Reunion is trying to retreat. Faust is trying to protect them. Unfortunately, Faust is he is going against the main characters, and therefore he dies. Then we end up with a flashback. We deal with Chernobyl some more. We, the Doctor, fall through the plate, and we have to deal with fighting the Yeti Squadron, who are Frost Nova's brothers and sisters in arms. And we are going to do that continuously. It's going to be extremely annoying. Frost is not a fun mechanic. And then we flash forward back to the present day where we are in Lungmen and we fight Frost Nova. Frost Nova makes a wager that if we can defeat her, she will join Rhode Island. We defeat her. She joins Rhode Island. She dies immediately after that. But she is still a member in our hearts. We love her. We know that she fought and died for what she believed in. Go Frost Nova, we love you. Also, during this time, we learned that these shadow guard guys that Wei summoned are here to pretty much exterminate everything. They basically root out the slums, killing many infected. And there's just piles of bodies in the slums of dead people. And we try not to pretend that that's happening. Chen tries to... Well, the LGD tries to pretend that it's not happening. Chen has to see that it's happening, and she gets protagonist syndrome, and she's gonna quit her job because all cops are bastards. Okay, we are... So Chen quit her job. She's going after the head of Reunion in Chernobyl, who is Tallulah. We are also going into Reunion, or we are also going into Chernobyl as well, because Chernobyl is on a crash course for Lungmen, which is carrying a whole bunch of active originium, which means it'll destroy like half the city and probably infect a bunch of people. Not the highest priority thing. So Rhode Island is breaking into Chernobyl, getting past the ranks of Patriots men, getting past the ranks of Patriots men, getting past the ranks of Patriots men. There's these shield bearer guys, they're really annoying, real tough. And then we fight Patriot, who is a W. I will not say the full name because that is appropriation of a Native American term. You're not supposed to say it. I'm trying to be respectful, so I'm just going to call him a W. He is very tall. He does a whole bunch of damage. He is extremely thick. We kill him very hard with Amiya. Amiya is revealed as the Lord of Fiends. She is the king of all Sarkaz. She is a small rabbit child, and we give her trauma. She has been given more trauma. I think that's when we get her final trauma, though. Because at that point, she's revealed to be the true king of Sarkaz. Or maybe we do that in Chapter 8. We'll see in a second. Patriot... he stops his own march, so he's not killed by Amiya, because apparently the last W was supposed to be killed by the King of Sarkaz. And he's basically saying, I hate fate. I make my own fate. I'm gonna die my own way. And he just kind of dies. Good man. He believed in a united front of civil rights, and unfortunately, the leader was possessed by a shadow man that is 1,000 years old because of mind jacking. Oh God, where did this story go? Okay, the chapter 8 is split into two parts: the present day and the retrospective, which is Tallulah's history, where we meet her traditional wife Alina, who is killed for being infected. And so Tallulah doesn't take that very well. She because she has been marked by the guy who basically stole her as a child and calls himself her father and is a horrible father, and planted a psychotic seed into her mind so that if she ever had doubt in her conviction, he would brainjack her. Like, what the hell is that? And so, surprisingly, that doesn't happen after Alina is killed. It happens after a bunch of civilians are killed, and she just kind of loses her freaking mind. At which point, the reunion movement is now hijacked by this complete jackass, the deathless black snake. So reunion never had a chance at that point because the person in charge was just intentionally trying to destroy them. And in the present day, we go down into the depths of Chernobyl to turn off the power source, which is the sarcophagus that we were found in Chapter 0. And we gang up with shield guards because they are trying to take down Tallulah as well, because Tallulah is trying to sabotage... Well, not Tallulah. This is very complicated. Not Tallulah. The Deathless Black Snake was trying to sabotage Reunion, and they still believed in the core principle of Reunion, which was an united front for civil rights. And then we kill a bird. The bird is Mephisto after he has put himself into the sarcophagus. You are not supposed to be in the sarcophagus. Sarcophagus is only for the Doctor, because the Doctor is probably the only person who is actually a human in this game. Because everyone else is animal people. You put them in the sarcophagus, they revert to an ancestral form, which for him was a giant bird. And we stab him very good with Franca's sword. We now have fried chicken. And then, she ends up here fighting her half-sister, Tallulah, who is not really her half-sister at the time because she's been brainjacked. And then Amiya fights Tallulah. Amiya now has absorbed all the knowledge of Chen's sword fighting, and she burns the clouds away. It is extremely cool. You should watch the video. And it is confirmed that she is in fact the true King of Sarkaz because she can pull out this cerulean flame sword, which is the mark of the king, because we love our daughter. And then we have a sword fight with Tallulah. We kick her butt, and we break the brainjacking. So now Tallulah is in the possession of Rhode Island, except not. She's going to be liberated by somebody else at a later date. I don't really remember when. It's probably in Chapter 9. But for now, she's in Rhode Island's custody so that we don't get bullied by Ursus or Lungman. Okay, that is the plot of Arknights as it is between Chapters 0 through 8. If you didn't understand any of that, I'm sorry. I'm not redoing it. Now let's see what the actual recap is. As soon as I get some water. That was a tough read. Hold on. Alright, I'm back. I'm gonna check one thing before. Not that, not that. We got more medals today, so I'm seeing what I got. Man, I need more skill specialization 3. I don't typically do M3s all that much. This is the new one. Raise 100 operators to 200 trust. I am like 50% over that. How long has it been already since you awoke in Chernobyl? Span of a blink, like a lifetime ago. You still remember when you opened your eyes, the light you saw, the voice you heard calling. Sorry for making you suffer again. You still remember the warmth of the girl's hand. Doctor, hand. Take my hand. Still remember where you left your slumber, the unbearably broken world that greeted you. You still remember hiding among the countless enemies, an unerring gaze. Trying to run? Where do you think you're going? No. Tear them apart. You remember as before, battling with wave after wave of hostile, the catastrophe taking its callous hold. And the enemy more fearsome than the more fearsome than the catastrophe still. I shall grant you an inn that I am quite fond of. It's those around you made great sacrifices, paid the ultimate price. Each name, each likeness, you firmly remember. Even so, you weren't spared much time to familiarize yourself with all that Rhode Island is and was. The insurrection in Chernobyl was only a beginning. Rhode Island was pressed to swiftly proceed to Lungmen, because it was more than likely that Lungmen would become the next target of reunions and permanent attacks. To earn the trust of Lungmen's chief executive, Wei Yanyu, Rhode Island carried out an investigation in the slums. You remember here you saw the plight of the infected wherever you looked. And in that plight, the infiltration of Reunion, determined to resist. You still remember the little girl who had been drawn into all this. She was Reunion's true target. Once kind-hearted by nature, she ultimately chose to take up arms to save her own people. Still remember how she herself never was saved. People always have a way of surpassing your expectations. Even more so when it comes to the infected. Power begets madness. Desire begets depravity. They are cancer, guarding all that is good in the world. If you want to keep it, I won't stop you. Just know that one day, your room will be filled with masks like this. All people must bear the consequences for the choices they make, affected or otherwise. You remember how, at the same time, within the districts of Chernobyl, the recon team found Reunion assembled. They ran away. They had pretty quick reactions. Ran away before we had a chance to take action. Disconnected themselves and took off as quickly as they could. But where did they hope to escape to? You remember, as you rescued the imperiled team, the first time you saw the girl who was as frost. Still remember, this too was Reunion's trap. You remember, the LGD forces pursuing the Reunion remnants to the outer edge. The enemy launched their offensive from inside, with the LGD at the center, and assailed Lungman. I'm safe now, but Reunion took over one of our important facilities, is now forcefully opening a passage between the Sums and the outer city. You remember, the young inspector swearing to retake the LGD by her own strength and defeat the insurrectionist foe within Lungman. Hello, Buzzy Bolo. You remember, she too went through setbacks, yet remained unyielding. Maybe I have changed. As time passed, I've had fewer grievances about Lungman. I've been able to place my trust in more people. You are no longer just Inspector Ishiguma. You are my friend and my partner. Your shield has protected me all this time. But once in a while, you should let me be your shield. Phew. You're not even gonna blush after saying that? Ah, man, they took out her curse at the end of that. They censored the recap. No matter how you feel, we're the LGD. We aren't rioters, nor are we criminals. We will take back our headquarters. Not necessarily for the sake of pride or justice. We will do it because we are the LGD, and we take back what belongs to us. That's the only reason we need. Do not make Lungmen worry about us. Do I make myself clear? Obedience, diligence, and perseverance. It's time. Let's rid the LGD headquarters of every last reunion member. You remember her brimming with courage, bravely charging the enemy ranks. Officer, I know what you are. My Originium arts only work on the infected. I don't care. Don't you know that you're only going to become his pawn? To be discarded when you've served your purpose? You can have those words back. You remember Rhode Island's making haste, arriving just at the battlement's decisive moment. My audio's starting to get crackly. Okay, yep, hold on. We're gonna stop at Blaze here. We're gonna stop at Blaze here and reset the emulator because it's starting to get crumbly. And then we'll just get back to Blaze. Blaze is the important. So how are you today, Pussybola? Thank you for joining. I am reading the recap after I have already given a separate individual recap.
Arknights. Doctor.
Alright, fast forward, 32 speed, 32 speed. Okay, there we go. Hey, Sano. Oh, I knew I was still on my Be Right Back. I was just fast forwarding. I was just fast forwarding to where we were. You're using your own blood as an incendiary? Huh. Do I look like some kind of caster to you? Only some egotistical newbie would go around committing arson like that. Sorry, but this is just one of my fighting techniques. Show yourselves. You have nowhere to hide. You remember the LGD taken back. The horn blown to signal a counterattack on all fronts. You remember Rhode Island and the LGD fighting apart, Reunion suffering defeat after defeat. Just you? Move and I shoot. You still remember, at the end of the fight in Lungman, how Rhode Island's had to once again face an enemy she didn't want to fight. Yes. You will now fight me. Only one of us leaves. If you can defeat me, it means some will be able to survive. You remember it vividly. It was precisely because we both knew, we both cherished the same ideal. And because we did, neither of us could back down. I am willing to join Rhode Island. I am willing to fight together with you against the enemies of the infected. Your way. This is my burden to bear. She was, at the instant the battle concluded, a part of Rhode Island. Oh, Yelena. And yet, Reunion's crushing defeat in Lungmen was no more than Tallulah moving her first piece. Exploiting the cover of a sandstorm, the Chernobyl core city approached Lungmen. You remember, a direct attack using a city as a weapon. That was Tallulah's true maneuver. In this moment, a firm and resolute Shen chose to leave. Alone. Rhode Island too chose to abandon coordinated action with the LGD and go into the fray. To make landfall and attack the Chernobyl core city and halt Reunion's offensive. Drivers, maintain a steady speed. Check your maps. Use the sandstorm to cover your approach to the core city until you're in range to deploy boarding gear. Engage. You still remember how we returned to the core city, defended by guards every step of the way. You met an old friend. I have no idea who this is. Some random guard. Nobody likes him. He has no name, he has no face, we don't even know him. Been a while, Amiya. Dr. Calcit. Exhausted our strength. Put an end to the quandary. It tried to walk forward, but its fragile wings are unable to support its own body. There are sounds trickling out of its throat, like a river of terror formed of whimpers. Creatures of artificial nature can usually be traced to aesthetics. Yet don't be fooled by its appearance. No matter how beautiful it may seem, you are looking at the culprit beyond the surrounding devastation. It's singing. Prevailed over a mighty enemy. The W freezes in place. Something appears to be dripping sorrowfully from his helmet. A minute passes. During this eternity of a minute, there are no other sounds except for the low rumbling of the moving city. Everyone there was forced to confront their own hearts. They may have overcome some doubts, no longer at a loss. Jen has tried to run far away many times, but she stopped herself. They may have indulged their hatred, fixed and unwavering. The women standing at the core were bound to decide the final battle at the summit of the tower. The Battle of Lungmen drew here to an end. It was as if there were fundamentally no winners, no losers. Only each individual settling their aspirations, each headed somewhere different. Doctor? You don't want to talk? I get it. So much has happened. But with you by my side, I feel happy. There's some things we can't do by ourselves. Rhode Island, we always press forward, no matter what the dark clouds bring. And no matter how many terrible stories unfold across the world, I'll always believe in the warmth in your heart. Welcome home, Doctor. Every battle in the standoff against Reunion, you can recall. But you still cannot find any recollection of the things that should most come back to you. The things of the past. the things of Rhode Island. The things you can truly do. You know, from the future, that there will be more journeys still to take. And that this is no more than a beginning. Alright, that was the recap. I don't know how long that took, but it probably wasn't too long. I am not going to start reading Chapter 9 just yet. We start off with more reading. Fortunately, Chapter 9 is like half the length of Chapter 8, because Chapter 8 was like 200,000 words, man. It just goes on and on and on. Calcit, please stop talking. I love you dearly, but you just talk in such a drawn out, cryptic way. Good God, woman, just fade to black for me. And then we have the Deathless Black Snake guy. He's just as bad as Calcid because they're both ancient old fuddy-duddies who just love to talk.
Doctor.
But I do love you, Calcid. Thank you for being here. Alright, so that is all I have planned to do today. I would read the operator records here as well, but I feel like I've had a nice time by myself, so let's see what we got here. We got some people here. I know Lyra just started streaming Tunic, so why don't I just send everybody over to Lyra? There we go. She is playing Tunic, which is definitely not Zelda. Don't ask questions. It's definitely not Zelda. But have fun with that. Bye-bye.